Hello. Here we are, day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas. I am just pulling things up on my computer so I can see what's happening. There we go. I'll just see anybody comes on. Oh, there's one person. Good. All right, so I am Melissa Naderick with Sentimental Salvage and Design in Murnum, Alberta, and we are doing 12 days of Christmas. So we're going to do a small-ish craft project every day at 10 o'clock for 12 days. And today's is going to be kind of short and sweet. We're doing a decoupage project today on some wooden tree blanks. They're also available as the kit in the store, the blanks. It's a 3-piece set. So there's 2 of them behind me. Oh, wrong side. 2 of them behind me over here. So that's what we're going to get going on today. So let's get going. So this is the one tree, and they come with these cute little bases, and then they just, you can stand them up anywhere. This is the smallest one, and it's 12 inches high. I think it goes 12, 14, and 18. The biggest one is pretty big. So they make really cute projects, and depending how you finish them, they can go inside or out. And what I'm planning on doing on this one is, this is the Roy Cycled Treasures decoupage paper. And this one is Christmas Blocks, Project Box B. So there's A, B, C, and D. There's 4 different ones. And this is B. And I want to use this little part right here. So that's what I'm going to use. But first, this is already painted with a nice, I think it is Champness Infusion. That's what color's on here now. But I want to put white just on the face, because if you put white behind your decoupage, it really lets the image kind of pop. So that's what we're going to be doing. So this is Fusion's Picket Fence. It's a bright white, and I'm going to use that to do the base. So if you're on here, say hi. Tell me where you're from. Don't feel like I'm talking to myself. So this is just a base under the decoupage. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it is a lighter decoupage paper that I'm using, so I don't want it to be too streaky, because you will see that through the paper. Nobody wants to say hi. You guys are quiet. So this is day 1. I have a bunch of fun little Christmas themed projects to get going on here. Hi, Leah. 4.5 hours north of Edmonton. Ooh, you're up there. I am 2 hours pretty much straight east, but we kind of call it northeast of Edmonton. Just trying to get less brush strokes and streaks here as possible. like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be perfect. This paint dries really fast, so it's kind of drying as I go. So we are going to give this a little buzz with the heat gun. All right, it's pretty good coverage. So when you're using Fusion paint, never let your paint dry on your brush. You'll wreck your brush. So I just have a little glass Pyrex here with water in it, and I just sit it in there, and it'll these Klingon brushes kind of clean themselves. So I'm just gonna go around the edges here to just grab any excess I may have. You can always go and sand that later, but just gonna wipe off any drips. Just makes it take longer to dry. Okay, let's give this a little buzz with the heat gun, and then we will get going with the decoupage. Okay, good to go. I'm gonna set that aside for a bit. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Ederlane? I'm not sure. Sorry if I totally butchered that. 3 hours north of Toronto. I was born in Sudbury, so which is about, what is that? 5 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours? I don't remember. I've lived in Alberta pretty much my entire life. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the block out that I want. And if you're just coming on, this is the Roycycled Treasures Christmas Project Blocks B. So there is 4 different Christmas themed project block papers, A, B, C, and D. This one is B. Good morning, Carmen. Medicine Hat. I know where that is. My husband has family in Brooks. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to try to, I'm not going to get, obviously this bird's little tail feathers are going to disappear. And I'm not super worried. I'd rather have the point of the tree covered versus this tiny wee bottom spot here, because that tucks into the base anyway, so you're not even going to see it. So, and make sure you have coverage on the sides. So I'm just kind of going to score it so I have a kind of a rough idea how it's going to sit. Kind of plan it out a little bit. So I remember when I've got my product on here. Good morning, Leah. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Susan. Still in, Hannah. Okay, so I am using Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel. This is my favorite decoupage medium. It's thick, it's a gel, and I like how easy it is to work with. It has a long open time. It's really reasonably priced. It's $13 for this 8 ounce, 8.45 ounce actually. And it works really, really well. And I'm not using a fancy brush. This is just Artist Loft. So that's a Michaels. So nothing fancy. Just to get, I like using synthetic brushes for this. Just for smooth application. Okay, so the most important part when you're doing this, there's some kind of a lump there, is to make sure you get full coverage. You want to make sure that you don't miss anything, because those spots will cause bubbles. There's so many ways to apply decoupage. This is the simplest, probably one of the easiest ways, the most common. These trees are a little bit more tricky because they have so many little angles and points, and these wooden tree blanks are perfect for, you can decorate them however you want with whatever. Decoupage or transfers and molds, or it's all kinds of things. I'm just kind of moving it around so I can see in the light if I've missed any spots. Looks like I'm pretty well covered. Cheryl from next door. Hi, Mama. Okay. Make sure I got this where you can see it. And line that up. Okay, so to stop this kind of, because the paper on the tree itself right now is going to stretch because it's wet. And I forgot my packaging, but you can easily use, usually I use the bag that it came in, but you can use a balled up piece of saran wrap to kind of rub any wrinkles out. And see how this is curling up here like this? What I'm gonna do with that is I'm just gonna mist these edges with water a little bit so it all kind of evens out then. The moisture from the decoupage medium has stretched in whatever the paper, so wetting the paper on that's hanging over helps that to stay even so you don't get it to pull up like that. That makes sense. I don't know if my description there was super helpful. But this balled up saran wrap helps, or you can just like place your hand in a Ziploc bag, or if you order the decoupage paper online, it comes in a bag, folded in a bag. You can use that packaging. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to just kind of cut these my X-Acto knife that's not very sharp. It doesn't want to break. There we go. Just so that as it dries, it's not pulling. These trees are a little bit more challenging to work with. So this just kind of takes some pressure off. There we go. Okay. Now, let's do that top coat. So same, well, that's kind of lumpy. I'm gonna wipe that off. Same process, just to seal the top here. This decoupage medium, it dries fairly quickly, but not as fast as your normal water-based top coats. So when the project's a little bit bigger like this, I like to use this gel for sure. Okay. Looks like it's pretty much down. Oh. The bad part about using cheap little brushes is they lose bristles sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna give this a pop of heat to dry it. Oh, there's another bristle. Of course. There we go. I don't think there's any more in there. Always be careful when you're using a heat tool, especially if it's one of these. These aren't the little craft heat tools. These are the big heavy duty ones, and they get really, really hot. So just be careful you're always moving it. You're not holding it in one spot because you're gonna cause your medium to bubble. Good morning, Linda. Okay, I think that's pretty dry. And see how the paper is just kind of hanging on the sides? That's due to spritzing those edges with water so that it stretches and moves just like this part is, and the slicing. Otherwise, as it dries, it would kind of shrink up and then it just pulls away even more from your edges. Kind of causes problems. Now, where's my sanding block? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I just use a normal sanding block. This is like a medium fine to get these edges off. So this might be a little bit noisy. And just go down from the top of your project on this edge, just go down. Don't slide this way, don't go back and forth, because you'll pull your paper and kind of cause a disaster. See how it just kind of falls away? Sometimes it helps to kind of put it up on a block instead of trying to hold it. It can be tough to get in these little corners sometimes. This is way easier than trying to trim that edge or to cut your decoupage paper ahead of time and then trying to line it up perfectly. Which is almost impossible to do. So when you do it this way, and on these cute little rustic trees, it just adds to the charm. I think my sanding block is a little worn. It's seen better days. Does anybody have any questions? Hi, Linda. Hi, Julianne. Does anybody have any questions about this process or anything else? Or any requests of a craft you'd like to see or a paint technique? I pretty much got our schedule made, but I can always swap stuff out if there's something you specifically want to see in these 12 days. I need to get some of those tiny little sanding blocks that fit in these corners a little bit better. Almost got it. Thanks, Julianne. I did a set of these trees last year using the buffalo check pattern, the black and white buffalo check, and they turned out awesome. Okay, there we go. A little bit of cleanup. Move this block. I'm gonna save this one. Happy May Your Christmas Be. I'm gonna save that. I could use that somewhere. I'll probably save a couple of these bigger ones. You never know when you need that little bitty piece. Let's just get the bulk of this dust out of here. There we go. Okay. I just want to clean these edges up a little bit more. Just being careful because I'm going kind of sideways here to make sure I don't pull on the paper. That turned out pretty cute. Okay, I'm going to put one more coat of the decoupage medium on here to seal it, and then it'll be good to go. Oh, thanks, Linda. Yeah, you can set your notifications on Facebook too, so that it tells you when I'm going live. So then in the little base, it just sits up cute as a button, and it'll be a really cute part of your little Christmas decor. And like I said, let me just, so you can see me. There is, which side am I on here? These two. These are the other two that go with it. So here's your size differences. So there's the 3 in the kit. And it's the blanks, the trees themselves. No, they're wood, Julianne. They are Baltic birch. So see, this side's just painted. So if you just wanted to show the painted side versus the decoupage side, you can always flip it around, change them up, have one side one thing, have one side Christmas themed, and the other side can be just winter, so you can keep them out for longer, especially when you put all that work onto them. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll put a link in the comments to the tree kit in case you're interested, and if you have any questions about the decoupage paper, I'll put a link for that too, just in case. And yeah, any questions, let me know, fire away. I am here to help you out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10. Bye.